Afternoon Chaos. This is Hekalatos, your friendly Legion's leader, and here to make an introduction to modding and introduction to mods. Now, a lot of people, especially those that are newer and mods have been around since you started the game, are a little bit unsure how to proceed in unlocking mods or how to get the best mods. So this video will just give you a brief introduction to what mods are, how to find them and how to get them, and also how to find and use the best mods. So the first place you will be able to find mods is in this place called Mod Battles, right up here. Now in the Mod Battles there are a number of different areas where you get 1 and 2 dot mods. You start out with health mods, defense mods, crit damage, crit chance, tenacity, offense, and potency mods. And then lastly we have speed. So these are all the 8 different sets of mods you can get. Now a set of mods offers bonuses when you have a certain number together. So if possible, a lot of times people recommend trying to get set bonuses on mods. But for those that are starting out, it is not as important as finding the right primary stats on mods. And sometimes not as important as the right secondary stats. So for those of you that are new and not quite sure how to find all these things on a mod, all you have to do is, well, if you follow what I did here, I opened up my character screen and I have all my characters and it shows my gear. If I tap down here where it says mods, I can look at all the mods that are currently on my characters. Now I'm going to open up Commander Cody since he has no mods currently. And this is what your screen will look like. Each character has 6 mod slots where you can put different shapes of mods. You have the square in the top left, diamond, circle, arrow, triangle, and cross. Each different spot can have any set of mod, and each different area can have any secondary stats. Now each separate area has different primary stats that are available. And now I'm talking about those primary stats again. Where you would find them is if you click on the mod itself. We can look at it, and this is a Mark 5A crit damage hollow array. The hollow array just means this fits in the triangle spot. The crit damage part tells you what set it is. Mark 5 means it has 5 dots, which are the best, and A means that it currently has 4 secondary stats. Now the maximum number of secondary stats a mod can have is 4. Like you see here, this particular mod has tenacity, defense, crit chance, and percent defense. Those are the secondary stats. Now the primary stat, every mod has only 1. This particular one has 36% critical damage. So this is a crit damage set mod with a crit damage primary stat. Okay, so the primary stat and the secondary stats my character will get as long as it's assigned to that character. It being a crit damage means it has a potential of a bonus. Now in all of your mod screens, in this very center of the bottom, you'll see set bonus. This is where it will show you the bonuses that you currently have active. And if you click on that eye, it shows you all the possible set bonuses and how many mods of each one are required. For example, at the top it says required 2, set bonus 2.5% health, and max set bonus 5% health. Now the blue bonus you get if you have the minimum required mods at any level. The maximum set bonus you only get if you have that required number of mods and they are all level 15. So you'll see health can get up to 5% health, The defense mods can get up to 5% defense. Crit damage you need 4 of, and can get up to plus 30% crit damage. The crit chance requires 2 for 5%. Tenacity requires 2 for 10%. Offense requires 4 for 10%. And then potency requires 2 for 10%. And speed requires 4 for 10%. Now it is important to know that each of these bonuses, the percentage applies to either your character's base health or defense or offense, speed. It doesn't multiply the bonuses you get from mods, only the bonuses that are on your character before any mods are applied. For those things like crit damage, crit chance, tenacity, and potency, those just increase your character's percent. Like if you look at your character sheet, my crit damage currently is 150%. If I put a full crit damage set on him, it would increase at 150 to 180%. Okay? So they work a little bit different. And that's what the primary stats and the set bonuses do. Now, like I mentioned, each different area, each different type of mod gets different different primary stats available to it. If you have a square mod, every single one has a primary stat of offense. Now, the amount of offense that is on there depends on both the level and the rarity of the mod. And by rarity, I mean the number of dots that it has. So a 5-dot mod will always have 5.88% offense at level 15, regardless of what type of mod it is, and regardless of whether or what color it is. And you see, this one is level 12, it has 4.75%, and level 1 has 0.63%. So every single square mod has offense. And just like every single square mod has offense, every single diamond mod has defense. No matter how many you find and how many you look at, they all have defense as a primary stat. Okay. These circles down here at the bottom always have either protection or health. See, and the amount that they have is normalized based on the rarity or the number of dots and the level of the mod. So see, I could look through all of these, but you'd only find protection and health mods. Now the arrow, the triangle, and the cross are where a lot of customization comes in. Okay. All three of them, the arrow, the diamond, and the arrow, the triangle, and the cross, could get offense, defense, protection, or health. But each of them has a chance at another type of stat. The arrow, for example, could have speed as a primary stat. Speed is very important for a lot of attackers and some support. Very useful. And another one you'll get is critical avoidance. Critical avoidance is good for tanks, depending on which the tank is. And then there's the last one, which I don't think I have currently available, but you could find an arrow mod with accuracy, which increases your character's chance to hit or reduces another character's chance to dodge. Many people don't use accuracy. Vast majority of the time you'll see people using a primary stat of speed here, but there are people that use critical avoidance, offense, defense, health, and protection. The triangle mods give you the chance of getting either critical damage or critical chance. Oops. And I have critical damage here, but also defense and offense. But critical damage and critical chance you will only find as a primary stat on triangle mods. This is the only place you'll find that as a primary. Now, the cross, again, still has a chance for offense, defense, protection, and health, but could potentially have tenacity or potency. Tenacity works really well for tanks and some support characters, whereas Potency works really well for other support characters and a lot of attackers. Okay, so if you have modding a character that wants to focus on Potency, you know that your cross really needs to have Potency. Or if you're searching for a character, or searching for a mod for a character that needs a lot of crit damage, you know your triangle is going to need a critical damage primary stat. So that's all the different slots and what you'll find in them as primary stats. Now, those primary stats are the most important thing when you mod a character. Okay, if you don't have the right set, but you have the right primary stat, that primary stat is more important, because the bonus you get from the primary stat is more than the set bonus. But if you have the set bonus and the primary stat, that should be your first choice. Now, if you get the right primary stat and the right set, you're doing really well. But that's not all there is to mods. Secondary stats can make a huge difference. So sometimes it is better to find the right primary stat and right secondary stats than it is to find the right set bonus. So that's going to be up to you and what you decide for your particular character. Now, how do those secondary stats work? How do you get really good ones? And how do you really focus on the ones that you need? Well, the secondary stats are determined by the color of the mod. Now, at their most basic, you have white, or sometimes known as gray mods, at level 1 that have no secondary stats. Okay. Green mods have one secondary stat on them. Blue mods have 2 secondary stats on them. Purple mods have 3 secondary stats on them. And gold mods have 4 secondary stats. So what you'll find is that every mod, once it hits level 12, is a gold mod. But the best mods that you can get are either purple or gold at level 1. Okay, you see this is a level 1 offense mod that has 3 secondary stats. The reason that gold and purple mods are better than blue or green or white mods is because every single mod you get will roll or add a new secondary stat at levels 4, 7, 9, and 12. So this white mod will get 4 random secondary stats at each of those levels. And I'll go and upgrade it to show you. At level 4, it will get 1 secondary stat, it's protection. At level 7, it'll get a second one, critical chance. At level 9, it'll get a third, offense, percentage. And at level 12, it will get a 4th, potency. So every single mod works like that. At levels 4, 7, 9, and 12, it gains a new secondary stat. But the key is, no mod can have more than 4 secondary stats. So what about one of these that has a secondary stat already on it? It's still going to gain 4 new secondary stats, or it will gain secondary stats 4 times. But since it has 1 secondary already, the very first chance that mod gets to add a secondary stat, it will increase 1 that's already there. So this one has speed. At level 4, it will add between 3 and 5 speed to what's already there. So one added 4 up to 7. And then each of the other tiers or levels that it gains a secondary stat, it adds a new one. So level 7, it adds a new one. and you notice that mod changed color to blue because now it has 2 secondary stats. And then at level 9 it adds a 3rd and turns to purple. At level 12 it adds a 4th and turns to gold. Now if I look at a level 1 blue mod, this one will still add secondary stats 4 times. But now at levels 4 and 7, it will increase either the defense or the protection. Sometimes it will increase one both times, sometimes it will increase both of them once. You never know until you roll it. So at level 4, it's going to increase one of them, that one did the defense, and at level 7, it's going to increase, that one did the protection. But see, it hasn't changed colors yet because it still only has 2 secondary stats. At level 9, it's going to change color and add a 3rd secondary stat of offense. And at level 12, it's going to add a 4th secondary stat and change to gold. That one gave me speed. And then lastly, if we look at a purple mod, this, aside from the primary stat, is what some people might call one of those unicorns. This has 3 chances to increase a stat that's already there. Now it will increase critical chance, speed, or protection. So in an ideal world, I could increase the speed 3 times on this mod and get up to like 19 speed. But that's only a small chance. It could increase the critical chance all 3 times, or the protection all 3 times, or it can increase all 3 one time. Never know until you roll it, but this is one of those mods that has a really, really good chance of giving me a really high secondary. So we can go ahead and roll it and see what happens. Level 4 increases critical chance. Not the speed that I may have wanted, but it's still nice. That one increases protection. And then at level 9, I'll get my last addition. That one increased speed. So this particular mod increased all 3 of them one time. That does not always happen. And I may have gotten really unlucky or lucky, depending on your view, and rolled protection all 3 times. It totally depends on what the mod is and what the random number generator says is going to increase. But now because it's only purple, I increase to level 12 and I get a brand new 4th stat of defense. So this is a really odd mod with a critical stat or primary stat of critical avoidance, which you think is primarily good for tanks, and protection and defense are good for tanks, but speed and crit chance not so much. But anyways, that is how all the mods work, what the stats are you're going to find on them, and how to increase specific secondary stats. Like, if you're looking for a specific stat to increase, you want to find a green, blue, purple, or gold mod at level 1 that has that stat. Like this blue mod at level 1 has potency and protection. I know because it's a blue mod at level 1 that it's going to increase 2 of those, or increase those stats twice. Whether it be potency both times or protection both times, I don't know. It could be one of each. I will never know until I actually spend the money to roll it. Now, most people, once they get a good base, will sell all of the white mods they have, especially the square and diamond, because their primary stats are always the same. Okay, so the square and the diamond, you're generally looking at secondary stats or the actual set itself. So you don't really need to worry too much about square and diamond. White mods, you can pretty much just sell those. But that's how you increase the specific stats you want. So the most common one is speed. So for those of you looking for speed secondaries, find a level 1 mod like this one here that has a secondary stat of speed on it already. Now I know that speed is going to upgrade at level 4. So now I have a really good offense mod with a secondary speed of 10. Now that speed will never increase again because it's going to get 3 new secondary stats, but that speed is guaranteed to be to 10 the whole time. So that's a real brief introduction to how mods work and how to get the secondary stats you need or secondary stats you want and how to increase them. I will say that those green, blue mods are fairly rare, but those gold and purple mods at level 1 are extremely rare, and you don't find many of them farming for mods unless you look in the mod store, which is where a lot of people will get the absolute best mods that they can find. They'll go to the mod store and look and see what's there. Now, like if I particularly was looking for speed mods, I could get that one, and if it has secondary stats I liked and wanted to roll again, I could buy this one right away. But as a triangle, it only has health, which isn't very good. And the secondary stats are health, protection, and defense. So when I upgrade this and it adds to secondary stats, it's only going to add to health, protection, and defense. So this might actually be a really good Stormtrooper Han mod, but that's just what it is. For those of you looking to spend crystals on mods, you can always find the mods that require crystals. Like this one, for example, that one's a guaranteed reroll or addition to health. And this last one right here is a guaranteed addition to the defense if you wanted that mod. And mod refreshes are fairly cheap, so a lot of people like to re-roll them and see what other mod options are available. So maybe this tenacity mod might be nice, but it's only a defense arrow, not the best in the world, so I wouldn't want to spend the money on it. But overall, that's how people find the mods specifically that they want without spending tons and tons of Cantina energy. Because when you spend Cantina energy on the mods, you're not guaranteed to get anything but white mods. Now I've been farming offense mods recently, and I'll see just for what kind of mods do I get. Wow, I actually got a really good gold mod there. And that's not bad, because it's a diamond, I know it's going to be defense. So I'll look at the secondary stats on there. Defense, protection, potency, and offense. It's okay. But I know that those 4 mods are going to re-roll. Are going to increase. And actually those are 3 of the 4 stats I've been looking for on my R2-D2. So I'm going to go ahead and put this mod on R2 and see what I get. Now, you see, if I look at it, it's got defense, protection, potency, and offense. Every time I hit one of those levels, that it would gain a new secondary stat. Because it's already at the max, it's going to increase one that's already there. Defense, probably the one I wanted the least. But if we go to level 7, we'll see what else it increases. Protection, not bad. Level 9, increases defense again. And level 12, increases potency. So, not bad. It is better than what I had already. So I'll just max out that mod and then assign it to my R2-D2. And now I have a level 15 offense mod that has increased offense, potency, and protection and defense over what I already had, but a little bit less of a crit chance. So there you have it, your very brief introduction to mods. This is a world you can get very sucked into and spend tons and tons of energy on these mods, but you don't have to. It's totally up to you. Whichever you prefer, farm the mods that you want. And if you are unsure what works best for a specific character, Feel free to check out some of the other videos I've made on how to mod attackers, tanks, and support. And if you still aren't sure, feel free to ask in the Mods Are Us channel. Plenty of us will be more than happy to help and really provide any advice we can. So good luck, Chaos, and hope you have a wonderful day.